Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're cutting through the noise to look at the 2025 India startup funding landscape.
Yeah, we're drawing on some great new reports from TechCrunch and TrackSen.
And our mission is really to figure out what a sharp drop in deal volume tells us about, investor thinking and market maturity.
Is it a bad sign, or is the ecosystem just growing up?
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with the headline numbers. India pulled in $10.5 billion last year.
Which is down about 17% from 2024. A dip, but not a disaster.
Right. But here's the kicker. The number of funding deals. It fell by a massive 39% to just over 1,500.
And that crash in deal volume is the entire story. That is selectivity.
Meaning investors just got much, much pickier.
Exactly. They wrote far fewer checks, and it's a complete divergence from the capital concentration we see in places like the U.S. It's quality over quantity now.
And that quality filter seems to be changing where the money is flowing. I mean, seed stage funding fell pretty sharply.
Down 30%. Late stage also cooled off quite a bit.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Early stage funding, that kind of Series A moment, it actually rose by 7%.
It went up to $3.9 billion.
If investors are being so cautious, why is that specific stage growing?
Well, it's because Series A is sort of the new seed round. It's the new filter.
The new gatekeeper.
Right. Investors are using it to weed out the noise. They're demanding proof of concept, traction, and most importantly, clear revenue visibility.
And those solid unit economics, right?
They want proof that each customer transaction is profitable on its own. They are not funding experiments anymore. They're funding conviction.
That pragmatic approach is incredibly stark when you look at the global AI race.
Oh, definitely.
India's AI startups raised, about $643 million? A small increase.
Yeah, but then you compare that to the U.S.
$121 billion. The scale is just staggering.
It's nearly 180 times the amount. But the strategy in India is fascinatingly different. They're not trying to build these huge foundational models.
The actual brains of the AI.
Exactly. They're prioritizing application-led businesses.
Yeah.
The company's using AI to solve a specific industry problem. It's just less capital-intensive.
But isn't there a risk there that India is sacrificing future competitive advantage just for that near-term revenue?
That's the core tension. I mean, the reality is India probably lacks the deep research base and, the patient capital needed to compete on that level right now.
So the smart money is going elsewhere.
It's pivoting hard toward sectors where India has a fundamental right to win.
Like advanced manufacturing and other deep tech areas where there's just less global competition.
Precisely. And you can't forget the huge consumer side of things.
Quick commerce.
Quick commerce is surging. These companies work because they leverage India's population density and scale a huge difference from a Silicon Valley model.
Yeah.
They can be profitable very quickly.
And this focus on local strengths, on efficiency, seems to be driving the whole market toward maturity.
It is. I mean, investor participation narrowed sharply, a 53% drop. But domestic Indian investors accounted for nearly half of all the activity.
That's a huge vote of confidence from local capital.
It is, and it's being reinforced by the state. You have the government's new $12 billion scheme for R&D and innovation.
Which helps ease that regulatory risk that foreign VCs are always so worried about.
And this all connects to the final piece. Predictable exits. A real payoff.
The IPOs.
IPOs increased 17%. M&A is up 7%. And crucially, the demand for these listings came mostly from domestic investors. The system is becoming self-sustaining.
So, to pull this thread through, what does this all mean for you, the listener?
India's 2025 startup ecosystem is really defined by measured capital, predictable exits driven by domestic strength.
And this clear, pragmatic focus on application-led AI, deep tech, and consumer services that really leverage local economics.
Right, so I'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. The Indian government is now actively investing in long-term areas like quantum computing and space tech.
Sectors where global competition is still pretty low.
So, does this new commitment of state capital and, reduced regulatory uncertainty mean India is preparing to leapfrog the U.S. in these non-AI deep tech sectors? You have to consider that trajectory.
A fascinating trajectory to watch unfold. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.